Hello everyone and welcome to the Kiki London YouTube channel. My name's Amanda and in today's video we're going to be doing a St. Patrick's Day set of nails. I really wanted to have some fun doing a St. Patrick's Day inspired set, so I hope you all enjoy today's video. I am working on display tips today, so if you was doing this set on yourself or a client, you would need to do all of your natural nail prep first. I will leave some videos linked below showing you guys how I prep. So jumping in to today's design, I'm going to start off by using one of the rubbered coloured bases. So this is 03 and it is a beautiful peachy nude. I love this colour. It's one of the few peachy orangey tones in the collection of the new rubber coloured bases, and I feel as though it's a beautiful base for going into the springtime. I love that there's such a variety of nudes in the rubber coloured collection because there's just a nude for everyone, but I'm really liking this one. So on this now I'm going to do 2 coats, curing each coat for 30 seconds. Now off camera I also did exactly the same on the the little finger, and then for the middle finger I've just done 1 coat, as on the middle finger we are going to be coming over with a coloured gel polish, so there's no need to do the 2 coats of rubber base. On the ring finger I wanted a whiter base, so I'm going to come in with a 01 also from the rubber coloured bases, and I'm just going to do 1 coat of this to begin with, as we are going to be doing a little bit of nail art. So the rubber coloured bases are designed to either be worn underneath a gel polish colour. If you're wearing them underneath a gel polish colour, you apply them exactly the same as you would a clear rubber base, and you pop your gel polish colour over the top. If you're wanting to be able to see the colour a little bit more or leave the nails the plain nude, then you can come in with a 2nd coat of colour, which is what I've done because I want my nail art to pop and I want that colour underneath to be as pigmented as possible. So on the first nail we're going to be doing a marble. So I have Ivy Forest, Orange Soda and Coconut, and I'm also going to add in some Champagne Spritz as well, as a lot of St. Patrick's Day has a bit of gold in it, so I wanted to make sure we got some glitter in this marble as well. So to start off with, I've taken the Kiki London nail art palette and I'm going to come in with the Champagne Spritz first of all, and I'm just putting a small amount down on my palette. When you are doing this, you want to make sure that the previous colour hasn't contaminated the brush of the colour that you're using next. So always check your brushes before you pop it back in the bottle. And if you have got any of the other colour on your brush, just make sure to clean it off so that you don't contaminate your bottles. Now I did decide to come in with a little bit more glitter because I do sometimes find when you're doing a gel polish marble like this, the glitter gets overtaken by the 3 colours. So I added in an extra row of glitter. And then we're going to marble these colours together and look at that beautiful pattern it creates. I absolutely love gel polish marbles. They really are one of my favourite things to do. Now before applying that marble to my nail, I'm going to come in with a layer of the regular Kiki London base coat. This one has a lot of a thinner consistency to the rubber bases, and I'm basically going to be using this like a blooming gel. As you can see, I've just applied a thin layer of this to the nail, and then I'm going to leave that wet, so we're not going to pop that in to cure. And then I'm going to take my Kiki London round nail art brush and scoop up this marble. Now as we place this down on the nail, you want to float it in to that wet base coat. You don't want your brush to be making heavy contact or applying a lot of pressure to the nail. You want to just float it in, and what happens is where you've got that layer of wet base coat underneath, it pulls that gel off of your brush, so it just makes it a whole lot easier, I personally find, than going straight over the top of the nude with your gel polish. And then also because you've got that uncured base coat there, the gel polish marble starts blooming and running and merging together without you having to do anything. Once you are happy with your marble, I'm going to pop that in to cure for 60 seconds, and this is the final result. I absolutely loved how this turned out, and one of the things I love about marbles is no 2 ever turn out the same. So I am going to top coat that now further along in the video, but for now we're going to jump on to the second nail. Now the second nail in this set is a pretty simple one. I wanted to come in with a full nail of the Ivy Forest because I thought this was a really gorgeous green. Now it's not a very St. Patrick's Day green, but I wanted this set to be a little bit more me and a little bit more wearable for something that I would wear, and I tend to go for more of the darker greens than the brighter greens if I was going to wear a set of nails like this. I do also want to take a moment to apologise for my voice. I'm getting over a cold. It has lingered on all week and I have left this voiceover as long as possible, hoping that my voice would be back to normal, but I still sound pretty groggy, so I do apologise. So I've cured my 2 coats of Ivy Forest and we're going to be applying crystals to this nail. So I'm going to come in and apply a layer of the No Wipe rubber top coat. Now what we're going to do is we're not going to pop this rubber top coat into cure because we're going to apply our crystals down into this wet top coat. And for our crystals, I'm going to be using the Kiki London crystals. So here we have the emerald green ones. How much of a gorgeous green are they? And I'm going to be pairing these with the Topaz rays. For this nail, I kind of wanted to go for, do you know when you're looking at a lot of the St. Patrick's Day images and they have the little leprechauns at the bottom of a rainbow and things like that with the pot of gold? So I wanted to add in something that kind of could represent that. So that's what this nail was about. I wanted it to be kind of a little bit extra when it comes to the crystals and just look a little bit blingy, but on a nice simple base so that it was still quite wearable. And I'm simply going to use a mix of the crystal sizes and those 2 crystal colours to create a trail across the nail. I didn't want it to go right from the top to the bottom. I kind of wanted to keep it quite low down, sweeping across the nail. And if you are new to using crystals, these crystal trails are really, really simple to do. You'll see here that I started popping down the crystals and I wasn't 100% happy of how the design was going. So I removed a couple and moved a few around. And that's what makes it amazing working with crystals and the No Wipe rubber top coat, because you're able to move them around as much as you please until you're happy with the placement and then you pop it into cure. So if you are working through the design and you're just not happy with how it's going, you've added a crystal that you didn't want to add, or you feel as though it doesn't look right, you can easily move that crystal into a different place or completely remove it. I felt as though at that point I'd added a few too many of the Topaz rays and it was taking a bit too much away from the green. So I come in and I just moved them around until I was happy with how the design was looking. Crystal designs are not really my strong point because crystals weren't really something I use too often, but I absolutely love the shine and the cut of these ones for Kiki London. So I am trying to branch out and do a few more placements, but in all honesty, the trails are my absolute favourite thing to do because I just think they look so blingy and so fancy, but with minimal effort, which makes them really salon friendly to do. I have sped up doing this one, but it was pretty quick to do because I've already got my crystal sizes mixed together, so I'm able to sort through and quickly pick out the different sizes that I need. And then around the edges, I've just added on a few caviar beads just to fill in any of the little tiny gaps. You can do this with either the really tiny crystals or caviar beads. And I just loved how blingy this looked and the contrast between the green and the topaz. I thought it looked super cute. And again, I'm not overly confident when it comes to crystal placements, but this was one I would definitely wear myself. So once I was happy with the crystal placement, I did pop that into cure for a full 60 seconds and that will freeze those crystals into place. Now on to the third nail in the design. So this was the nail that we popped the 1 layer of the 01 coloured rubber base. So this is like a milky white colour. So I'm going to come in over the top of that with my Kiki London foil gel. I'm just popping a thin coat down. And then I'm going to take the Kiki London holographic coloured foils. I love these ones. You aren't actually going to see the sparkle speckled effect in this particular design that I'm doing because we are going to come over this with another layer of white, but I do love how these foils look and I had forgotten about these particular ones a little bit, so I definitely feel like I need to do some more designs. Now that we're coming in to the spring and summer months, I'm looking forward to getting some more bright designs out there. But for this design, we're simply going to tap on this green foil around the edges. I want to kind of create that framed look in the centre because I'm really loving that at the moment. I did take my foil in a little bit further than I wanted it to go. So just taking a little bit of alcohol on the angle nail art brush, I'm just removing any of that excess foil. It does take a little bit of scrubbing because the foil gel is amazing and adheres the foils really, really well. So I did have to do a little bit of scrubbing to get rid of that excess foil. Once I had gone around with the green, I decided to come around with the orange as well. I'm just really lightly tapping that on, as we don't want to go too far in to the center of the nail, because I want to do a little shamrock leaf pattern or design, sorry, in the center. So once I was happy with how that was looking, I kind of had wished I did leave it like this and didn't come over with the second layer of the white. But originally I wanted to have this kind of soft hidden background for my shamrock design to pop more on the surface, if that makes sense. So I decided to come over the top with a layer of the 01 rubber base again. This kind of just muted and toned down the green and the orange, which did kind of work for this design, I think. But I did also really like how it looked before this. So I've popped this down and I've cured that for 30 seconds. And then I'm going to come in with a box 4, which is the coloured metallics. And I'm going to go for this gold because, again, I wanted some gold running through this set. And I wanted to create that layered effect. So we've got the hidden green and orange, and then we've got that layer of white. And then we're coming over the top with the pop of gold. So it kind of creates a little bit of dimension and layers to the nail. Now, I didn't add an extra layer of foil gel for the gold. I just tapped that on to the tacky layer that's left behind from the coloured rubber bases, because they do have quite a high tack layer to them. So if you're just tapping on foils like that, you are able to use that tacky inhibition layer that's left over from your rubber bases. So now we're going to come in and we're going to do our shamrock. So I've taken some of the Ivy Forest on my palette, and I'm going to switch between using the dotting tool and the detail brush and kind of just draw on little hearts. If you look at shamrock or clover designs, the leaves do really look like little hearts all stuck together. So that was the vibe I went for this design, because it was quite simple to do. So very similar to how I did the hearts in a lot of my Valentine's videos. I've just popped on 2 dots using the Kiki London dotting tool. And then I'm taking the Kiki London detail brush just to pull them into a heart/leaf shape. I am flash curing for 10 seconds after I've done each leaf. So I'm simply doing the leaf and then popping in my Kiki London LED lamp for the 10-second flash cure option. The flash cure option doesn't completely cure your gel polish, but it freezes it in place. So if you made a mistake and needed to wipe, say, the second leaf off, you wouldn't disturb or ruin that first one that you've done. So I love the Kiki London LED lamp, especially for this, because I use my flash cure lamp every single time I'm doing any kind of hand painted nail art, because it makes it a lot easier. So I flash cured each of the leaves, and then I'm going to come in and draw on the stem. I did switch to my stripe liner brush for this, just because I wanted to sharpen up and neaten up the leaves as well as doing my stem. And I find the stripe liner brush a little bit easier for this because of how thin the bristles are. So now that I'm happy with that, I'm going to pop this in for a full 30-second cure, just to make sure all of that gel polish is now fully cured. And then I did just come on and tap on a little bit more of the gold here and there, just so it popped a little bit more. And then again, I'm just using the tack that's left over from the rubber base coat to apply that. I didn't need to add any extra product. So we're going to move on to the 4th and final nail. So this was one of the nails that had 2 coats of 03 from the rubber coloured bases. So I'm going to come over the top first of all with orange soda, and I kind of just wanted to go for a little bit like a side French design. I really like these alternative French looks on, like, to do on the tip of the nail. I think they look quite cute, and I felt as though it really worked for the whole St. Patrick's Day design, because we could do the colours of the Irish flag. So I'm coming in with orange soda on the very tip of the nail, and I've just swept it across. And again, just like when I was doing the shamrock, I flash cured. So I've done my orange and flash cured, so that if I make any mistakes with my white, I'm able to wipe the white off without removing the orange. And then, as you can see, all I'm doing is I'm loading up my brush, my stripe liner brush, with the gel polish. So I like to run my brush through it to make sure that the colour is evenly coated my bristles. And then I'm just following the guide of the line we created with the orange soda. I find it really easy if you do your first colour down first and then just follow that line rather than trying to create the lines, if that makes sense. I just follow the natural curve that we created on that first colour. Flash cured the white, and then we're going to come in with Ivy Forest. Now, I struggled a little bit to get the Ivy Forest neat. So the first line went absolutely perfectly, but it was a little bit too thin. So I needed to come in and thicken it up. And then when I was thickening it up, it wasn't very neat. I'd gone over on to the coconut. And that's why I was glad that I had flash cured the coconut, because what this meant was I could clean up the Ivy Forest using a little bit of alcohol without smudging or ruining or having to wipe off the white or wipe off the entire design. So whenever you are doing anything hand painted that's in steps, break those steps down and flash cure each step so that if or when you do make a mistake, you're easily able to clean it up. I will show you guys how I cleaned it up once we get to that step. So I'm just making sure to take that green right down so it swoops across the nail. And here I was just pointing out where it looked a little bit messy. So I've popped a little bit of alcohol on to my angled nail art brush, and I'm able to go and wipe over the top of that white and neaten up the line, and it isn't going to wipe off any of that white gel polish. Although it hasn't fully cured because it was only a 10-second flash cure, it's cured enough that it's not going to wipe it off or disturb it. And then I was able to neaten up that line, and I was quite happy with the final result. So I popped that in to cure for a full 30 seconds. And now that's all 4 of the designs done. Please do comment below and let me know which one was your favourite. I was really torn between the marble nail, the ring finger and the little finger. I loved them all individually, but I'm not 100% sure if they worked all together. But I really loved how they all turned out and how well these colours worked together as well. So I hope you guys agree and like the designs. If you are celebrating St. Patrick's Day, I hope you have a really amazing day. I'm now going to come in and top coat using the No Wipe rubber top coat. So I'm not top coating the nail that I popped the crystals on, as we did already top coat because we set our crystals down into the top coat. So that now doesn't need an extra layer of top coat. So once they had all cured, this is the finished result, and just look at the shine from the No Wipe rubber top coat. I absolutely love it. I really hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up or leave us a comment. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would absolutely love it if you did. Thank you all so much for watching. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.